Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you I can't just see. Never seen a cancer dead. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you a change is here. Broken heart made whole. Never seen an orphan find a home. Never seen the weak find the strength. I promise you a change is thing. Never seen the sick get healed. Never seen a mystery revealed. Never seen a dead man raised. I promise you a change is thing.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? It's time for the Big C and Bigger T podcast. How you doing, Big C? What's going on, buddy?
Man, you know your energy. It got my dog named Cookie. My Cookie dog. I ain't gonna pick him up; he'll freak out. But yeah, he got to come up here like, what's going on over there? Like paw me. And,
crazy fat man on the screen.
Like whoa,
crazy fat man.
You know, and we were
Look out, crazy fat man. Look out.
We were making the joke right before we went on air that don't you wish you were as skinny as you were the first time? Like, I'm fat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, here's those of y'all watching this on YouTube. There's a picture I got on my phone. It's my wallpaper of me holding up two of my buddies, Stephen Bellick and Marcus Diaz, like I was dragging them off the field. And decided to do that when we were taking football pictures and looking at that thinking, man, I was the biggest kid on the football team, but I look awful svelte.
That kid looks tiny. I'm like, the crap out of that kid. Like, yeah.
I'd recruit that guy.
That kid's probably about 275, you know?
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, I was probably about 275, 280, something like that.
I think I was about 245, 250 in high school, and then I got up to but anyway, neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. We're not worried about that number. It's coming down.
It's been a couple weeks, man. We had the frozen tundra of Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then we had just a rainy, nasty week, and we were kind of busy and just wasn't able to get together on getting on here, and so. And also, Clint, it's just kind of been sad times.
It has been depressing. Like everything made me sad this week. Like it wasn't a lot of joy. Well, you know what? I will say this. The segues this there. You know, my Holy Schinkies moments of the week. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about the Vince McMahon scandal, but man, they did. We're putting that behind us, but we'll talk about that more later. But the Royal Rumble, they had the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Yeah.
Which if you're like me, you're a wrestling fan, you're a wrestling nerd.
Which I am not.
You're not, I am. And like you would come over and watch the pay-per-views with me and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean,
well, I got into it there in college age, the NWO years and all that stuff. And I was into it as a kid. I just haven't watched it.
But here's what I am, Travis. This is the level of wrestling fan dork I was.
Yeah, you're nuts. Yeah.
Like they had like there was a project, I think it's first grade, kindergarten. I don't know, it may have been eighth. I don't but we had to put like a book together. And so like I made a book of all my wrestlers. I remember the Junkyard Dog was on it. There's a mask guy. But I mean, like it was just So I mean, I've been that way since I was a little kid because I'd watch it with my pawpaw.
Yeah. And y'all used to watch it like on satellite.
Yeah,
like
satellite.
Big old honking satellite.
Where you'd have to go for like receiver B, and you'd watch the satellite.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, none of this like direct TV stuff. This was like you had to give up part of your property Like there was like 3 cattle your grandpa couldn't roam
Yeah,
on his
they
yard
could have had that acreage.
because he had to have acreage for the satellite
Like it's
dish.
so crazy to think you used to have to put this big old thing in your yard.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these conspiracy theorists are probably will drive by one day and go, "What did Dragon
Yeah,
bring?"
sure.
Yeah,
Now that'd make a good fire pit.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Well, Clint, we normally do Holy Schnikes moments. And we were talking about what we wanted to do. And normally our Holy Schnikes is funny haha stuff, right? Like
yeah, well,
it's
yeah.
stuff that we just joke about or we're shocked about because it's funny.
Mhm.
Well, we're shocked about these things today, but they're not funny. There's
They're
in
not
fact they're
funny.
they're
It's
pretty
not.
sad to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And to kind of go off what you're talking about, this is a big weekend for WWE.
right.
There's some news there.
Yeah,
You
there
were
was a big
sharing with
one
me
there.
that
Yeah, and I'm
is
surprised you
Holy
hadn't heard.
Schnikes. Where did that come from?
I'm surprised you haven't heard. There's graphic, horrible details. That if y'all want to look them up, you can. We're not going to talk about them here because it's not the time nor place. But Vince basically has he's been served with a lawsuit accusing him of sex trafficking, um, like an employee around the office. It's just and that's as deep as I'm going to go into it. But um, when this happened, at first, Vince was like, "I've denied all allegations."
Mm,
Well, what happened was big event this weekend, the Royal Rumble, which was a great show. They did a great job. Um, was sponsored by Slim Jim. Slim Jim released a statement says we are not going to be associated with uh with this at this moment, and basically pulled their sponsorship.
like at the last minute?
This was Friday. They pulled the
Wow.
sponsorship. Slim Jim's like, no. Uh-uh.
Wow.
Well, when you start messing with billionaires' money, things get done, and then Vince resigned, said, out of respect for WWE and TKO. Well, Vince doesn't own it like he used to.
Yeah.
Used to be Vince, he could say no, and then it would have been, networks probably kicking him off the air.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's how bad this is, it's going to get. It's probably, wrestling as we know it wouldn't be what it is without Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of the situation. You shouldn't have, you shouldn't be, when you've done this, when you've done what he's done, you shouldn't put yourself in a position to have your legacy ruined. And that's what he's done. And it's sad because we're WrestleMania 40 is coming up. It's going to have a great main event, big show. Um, I think the organization saw this coming, so they put Rock on the board to kind of give him a little bit of good
Give
publicity.
him somebody, yeah.
Give him
Kind of like
somebody.
Papa John's when they, begged Shaq to come in and invest
Yeah,
to make up for the other old guy that was
yeah. So
Papa John that messed it up.
it's a sad situation, and you got to feel for if these allegations are true, you got to feel for the young lady.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, the other one, and I know a lot of you've heard about this, and it just blows my mind. A lot of it's because there's not a lot of, there's not a lot of details that we have. But apparently, some guys in Kansas City, some Kansas City Chiefs fans, were getting together at a guy's house, and they were having a watch party, playoff game, and uh, the owner of the house, I think he's single, lives there by himself. He's 39 years old, something like that, 38, 39.
And I haven't heard this story, so you're kind of breaking.
They're all in and he went to high school with two of these guys. There was four of them. Okay. Well, there was actually at least five there. One of the guys had left earlier in the evening, but there was three that had stayed. The owner of the house said at first, he said that he fell asleep on the couch, woke up, the other guys were gone. He went up to his bed. Well, then later on, the story came out that he had went up to his bed and left the guys down there after the game was over, and he didn't know what had happened. All that to say, 3 days later, after the Super Bowl party, no one can contact any of the four guys. Their cars are still at the guy's house. Some of the guys that are missing's family come over there, try to bang on the door. No one answers. Try to call the owner of the house. They're trying to call the men because some of them are family men. They're gone.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they find them. They're in the guy's backyard, frozen to death. No signs of foul play. They're just in this guy's backyard. He says he worked from home a lot, and he said he just worked and did his thing, and he didn't know they were there. Their cars were at his house that he had left or something, he said, and that didn't register to him, or he thought they had left them there or something. I don't know. He's not really talking a lot. He's since moved out of the house.
If I was him, I wouldn't be doing any talking without an attorney.
And like one of them was sitting like in a lawn chair. And I don't know where the other two were, but they're like right at his back door. They said you could have seen them looking out his back door. And they were just there. And now these three men are dead and no one knows. And like I said, he went to high school with two of them. And one of them was another guy they'd befriended.
So don't lie. Do you think he killed them guys?
And I don't know.
But because I mean, first off, you would see him if you can see him just looking out the back door. You know, if he lives by himself and he's a single guy, you know he's out there.
Yeah,
it's just you do that. You're going to be out in the backyard.
He had dogs.
But
his dogs had went to his dad's house, and I don't know when they came back. But he said he did that normally. They said he did that normally because when he'd have a party, because they were like pit bull mix or something like that. So they were kind of big, active dogs.
Yeah.
And so he said if we had people over, his dad would keep them for him or something. But still, but I think they had came back and he was having to take them out. I mean, dude, it's weird. Like, did something happen? He just got scared and didn't know what to do. I mean, you know, and like they say, the autopsy is going to take weeks, you know, and part of it's because these guys are frozen. They have to thaw them out. It sounds gross to say that.
You got to wonder if that would, if you got to take X amount of time to thaw them out, it would have to hinder blood work.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? You know exactly what
this guy could be a genius, like a psychopath.
Well, I think I may be wrong, folks. Okay, some of y'all may have looked into this more than I have, but I think he does something like with health and science, like does testing for like COVID research and HIV research.
Bro, man, looking good, man.
No, dude. This is one of those like, I can't wait for the true crime podcast to come out.
Yeah. I don't listen to true crime
or documentary or something like that.
I'd get into those. They used to have those. Man, the guy that I can't think of his name, but they have a lot of those like killer like before podcast shows like on Bio. Yeah. Like I remember, I'd watch some obscure ones, but he's got.
It needs to be one of those that like True Detective tries to.
True Detective, they'll have to be on a Law and Order episode.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird, like so weird. And the family, the poor family, they don't know what to do. I mean, they don't know whether to be mad at this guy. They don't know. I mean, they think there's more to it, of course, but. Yeah. It's just.
I don't listen. I mean, I just don't think you could I could have three guys dead in my backyard and me not notice in a week or two.
It's 3 days. Yeah.
3 days. I mean, I'm not in a day. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's
Especially too, the fact that people were trying to call him and text him, and like one of the sisters of one or somebody related to him, maybe a wife or something, like came to the house and like banged on the door and didn't get an answer.
here's the thing. There's a lot of rational excuses
Yeah.
that any rational person could believe.
Yeah.
But when there's but you're pushing it, and there's a lot of it. Like there's a chance you're telling the truth, but it's about a 2% chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you've got to convict, but if you got a jury, and I took constitutional law in college. I just thought
Oh,
you should know
okay.
that.
Yeah.
I took it over spring break one year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a over spring break, like it
Yeah.
was like you were in class for like 6 hours a day, but you got a full credit for it.
Zipped right through it.
Yeah, me, Jumbo, and Nelly all did it.
I took like a 2-week class one time, and we were in it all morning,
Yeah,
and we played Minesweeper while the teacher was talking the whole time because it was
but
in a computer lab.
I'm telling you, yeah, it was a fun time. Now that being said, I know this because I got to be in that class. If to convict on a jury, you have to be 99.9% sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be like that 99 percentile. What I'm saying is, if everything's plausible,
Yeah.
you got a bunch of circumstantial stuff. I mean, it's
crazy.
That being said, I've like you've basically, it's like you're the prosecution and I'm the judge, and like it's not the case.
Yeah.
Not the case. Me and Travis have no legal bearing. We're just two jerks with a podcast.
But man, you got to feel for those families because, I mean, like, they're not able to have the funerals until they get the autopsy done, unless they just do a memorial service or something without the casket there, which they could do, I guess, and then do something.
Well, it's not that's not a fun way to go either.
No, no,
No.
no, not at all.
Mhm.
Whatever happened, I mean, freeze to death. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, so, all right. Well, those are both sad situations. Why not? Let's dig deep. Let's go to another sad situation.
Oh my goodness. No.
Razorback basketball.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you guys. I've kind of quit watching. I'm like, because I don't know why I would put myself through that.
You realize the day this, we're recording on Tuesday night. I'll get it edited tonight and post it. Wednesday we play Missouri. There's a high probability we're going to get beat by Connor Vanover. Clint.
Yeah.
That's where we fall into.
Well,
that we have to be afraid of Connor Vanover. Razorback fans, welcome to a dose of reality.
So
we're going into tomorrow night at Missouri afraid
of Connor Vanover,
of a team that Connor Vanover is on. That's where we're at.
Man, we had such promise once. Like, we had old Bart Reed, and I consider Bart Reed an expert.
Hey, Bart Reed's moving up, man. He's working for Hog Sports now with Trey Biddy.
Yeah. Oh, he went to work for the arch rival?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Or arch rival.
Our arch rival.
Hey, you think, we'll see if we can smoosh Bart Reed and get Trey Biddy on the podcast.
There we go.
And we'll assassinate his character. Anyway, just because he'll lower himself to be on our podcast.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But to come slum it with the Big C, Bigger T gang.
That's right.
No, but he's like, man, this is the team. He goes, this is the team. He's got the squad. And then, we have the preseason game. Is at home versus number 2 Purdue, and they coached that like a game.
Yeah.
Both sides did. That was a game, and you beat Purdue.
Yeah.
And then we even had Duke at home. We had the tournaments, but none of the UNC Greensboro was a little alarming.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, no, they're a good basketball team. And it just seemed to, we beat Duke at Bud Walton, had that big, and it just seems like the entire season, after, it hasn't clicked. Like they out athletic teams in the beginning, some of the teams that they overmatched, and it just seems like there's no chemistry. There's no cohesive. Now, let me ask you a question, Travis. Do you think the big issue is the way Musselman does things? That's why I'm talking about leaning heavy on the portal and transfers. Because let's look at the guys and I haven't looked at what they've done elsewhere. I did look at Darian Ford, who's having a nice season.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a real nice season. So you've got Darian Ford, Barry Dunning Jr., who everybody raved about, who scrimmaged with him. You got those two guys that you kind of say, hey, there's the door. KK's not having a bad year. But the thing with KK and Darian Ford is they're both Arkansas kids. And
well, let me ask you this, Clint. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would this team be better off? And of course, hindsight's 2020. I understand that. Would this team be better off with a Darian Ford and Barry Dunning on this team playing limited minutes? Probably. Okay. They may not be getting a ton of minutes, but you're building up guys that have shown leadership character on and off the court. Okay. Because of some issues, I haven't been able to listen to the Buzz here lately because they're having problems with their tower. And so I listen to them on my app, but like driving to work, I've been listening to Chuck Barrett's, in their morning show out of Northwest Arkansas.
I'm going to challenge you to do something, Travis.
What's that?
You need to start listening to positive affirmations the
I
entire
do.
way.
Yeah.
Just like because Razorback Sports is just going to make you sad.
I know it is.
Just
yeah.
let you get you some of that self-talk. Like, I feel pretty.
It's right. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me.
All right.
Okay,
Go ahead. I'm
so
sorry.
anyway.
I thought you needed to listen. Get you some positive.
Yeah. Well, but Chuck Barrett made a good point. So I want to give him credit for it. He said there's guys that are leaders in the locker room and guys that are leaders on the court. Some are good at both. Some are better at one than the other. He said this team does not have guys that are leaders on the court. Okay. When I saw Darian Ford out there, I've been banging a drum for him for a while. Okay. I was excited about him. And a lot of it's because of his character, but also what I saw of him as a ninth grader when he was playing against Jalen Williams on TV in Hot Springs, for the state championship, was he was a leader as a ninth grader. Yeah. They had older guys on the team, but he was the one that before free throws was huddling them up. He was the one talking during those times. He was the one, and I saw him doing that when he was in the game for the Razorbacks last year. And it seems like when they do that now, they just kind of get around and they're looking over at us, and I don't see anybody like a Corey Beck or even we always use Corey Beck, but Corliss and Scotty and Clint McDaniel, those guys were all leaders on the court.
When you have any good team, any great team, I consider the 99 Gulf South Conference Championship my Arkansas Tech. I consider that a great team because you had guys, and I've told the story on here about the Monticello game where Mullins is like, I don't even want to talk to you guys, and Chris Eastburn stood up. But you also had guys like Todd Matthews who would be like, you'd be practicing, you'd be struggling maybe to block the linebacker because I'm not accepting that effort. You know, he'd tell you, and then you had guys like DJ Crane, who's very near and dear to my heart. They would, you know, tell you, you know, that would be encouraging you in the weight room, but you had different guys that different things, and there was a cohesiveness and there was a togetherness. And you know, you saw Isaiah Satanga came out and said we got rid of the cancers in the locker room.
For football, yeah.
Football, he's like, yeah, we got rid of the cancers. And you know, you kind of, you know, you want to be nosy and know whose it is. But
Well,
but
you got to look
anyway,
at who's gone.
Yeah, look at who's gone. But so I think there's hopefully, but the team's not together. The team's not together, and that this team definitely last year seemed like they weren't together.
Well,
But
and one of the things, I mean, look, one of the guys that's supposed to be one of those leaders for the second time has up and taken a leave from the team. Now, look, there's lots of rumors about what's going on.
yeah,
Okay, we heard one today. It's a doozy.
It is a doozy. It is a doozy.
It is a doozy. And you know, we got to be careful because we don't want to run people's names through the mud. Okay, or we don't want to put something on them they don't want on them. I'll put it that way. Okay.
Well, even at that, it's these kids' private lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their private lives, and they don't. And man, growing up, you know, as a Travis, do you remember how stupid you were at 22?
Oh, I was brilliant at 22.
Yeah, you were. I know better. But, you know, but I think you were saying earlier over the phone, like you don't hit mental maturity till 28.
Oh yeah, that's what most sociologists say nowadays, you know.
And we're hoping to hit it by 50.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't. Maybe one of these days we'll make it, kids.
That's right.
Growing up at that age is hard. That age is hard, you know, and then it's got to be even harder being in the public spotlight.
And not just the public spotlight, but you're all through high school. You know, I mean, these guys may be just mediocre players in the SEC, but in high school, they were kings.
Oh,
everybody looked up to them. Everybody was wanting to be their best friend because they wanted to tag along for the ride.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they go to college. Hey, 18,000 people are showing up almost every week to watch them play.
Yeah.
And when they walk across campus, it's not just another student. It's that guy on the field, on the court that I play with, you know. And so you throw that in, now you're throwing NIL money at them. So kids that didn't have money, all of a sudden they got money. So they got everybody looking up to them, everybody telling them how great they are. And more than likely, they're not going to have people around them besides maybe their coach. And his time with them is limited of to be able to kind of help keep them grounded. And then they got all this money coming in, so they feel like 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And so, and they're dealing with, and then they're, I mean, everything's about them. And so they're going to do things that make them happy. Okay. And when things aren't going well, they're not going to know how to respond to that. And it's going to cause issues, and things aren't going well for them this year. And instead of fighting out of it, it seems like they're just fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, if the rumors, you know, out there are true, then, you know, man, be good to these kids. I mean, don't be jerks to them, because in the day they're kids and they're trying to figure life out. I didn't have life figured out till I was in my 40s. And I know, and that's just, as the kids say, no cap. But you know, it takes time to develop and mature, and you know,
well,
be good.
with any rumor, it needs to be any rumor needs to be handled in such a way to where it needs to not be a rumor if it's talked about. If someone comes out and says this is what it is, if one of the kids comes out and says this is what it is, then you can go with it. But up until then, it's just a rumor.
Well, see, because one of the first things I do when like somebody texted me that, you know, the rumor that we're just going to address as the rumor. They messaged me that. And so the first thing I do is I call you. And you don't answer my call because you big time me all the time. But that's okay. I'm not.
I was talking to Mama.
No, you're talking to your mom and ignoring me. But no, I'm joking. I cried a little just because I'm an irrational person. But anyway, where was I? So I've totally lost my train of thought insulting you.
You heard the rumor, you called me.
No, I heard the rumor, I called you because I'm like, okay, Travis is on all the sides. If there's a substantiated source, that would be like I would consider, like if it came from Trey Biddy, I'd consider that a reliable source.
Curtis Wilkinson.
Bart
Reed now.
Otis Kirk, Bob, somebody like that. Somebody along those lines, I'd consider that. So I was like, okay, you're going to know, Travis going to know about it. He's like, I've heard the rumor, but I don't know anything about it. And so then we debated for a long time. We even wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to talk about it because these kids' private lives and it's they don't deserve to have it. If it's true, they don't deserve to have it be told this way.
Well, and to be honest with you, it's one of those rumors that I could see someone just guessing that also.
Yeah.
And making something up.
I do that a lot.
Yeah. People do that.
Yeah, people do that but that's people. Sometimes people say.
Yep. But look, folks, all we can do, the Kentucky game, these guys still played hard. Okay. Let's still be good fans. Let's root for them. The dance isn't looking likely.
No.
There's not a lot looking likely. But maybe we can still watch some good basketball before the end of the year.
We can salvage it, make the NIT. I don't know.
Yeah.
Make the knit, play for 69th place, or is it 70th? I don't even know. How many teams?
Enough of that.
Hey.
Let's talk some NFL.
No, but this isn't. See, and you think I'm going to feel better. I got caught up in the hype, Travis. I was feeling it. I was a Detroit Lion fan. I was full, like, Dan Campbell.
Some bad Dan Campbell calls.
You said that, but I looked at the percentage, like that guy's percentage from how deep they were was a lot lower than they're converting on fourth down in those situations. So I'm not going to chastise him for those. I mean, I think that was, but it's a momentum killer, and that's the way he coached all year. And man, it was a fun ride. I mean, they did something that's never been done.
Well, the thing about Dan Campbell is I think he'll learn from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun ride. They were a fun team to watch. How about, I know it didn't work out good for them, but how about Baltimore? Did you see that they sent out like Ray Lewis out, during timeouts? He did his dance, and they sent out.
I thought Terrell Suggs
and some other guys. Yeah, I thought that was really smart. That was good to kind of fire up the fans. Didn't work it for the players, I guess.
Dude, the NFL playoffs has been good. First off, we don't talk a lot of NFL at all.
No.
But how about, I mean, if you didn't watch that Lions-Rams game, you missed out because, dude, the story wrote itself. Jared Goff versus, I'm brain farting on his name. Matt Stafford.
Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford versus Golf. They got traded for this big trade package and
For each other, yeah.
yeah, for each other. And um, of course, they got a few pieces out of that trade.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just the Lions went further than they ever went. So the always like you look for the story because now you've got Mr. Irrelevant. You got Brock Purdy's easy to root for, and so San Francisco.
Man, San Francisco is one of those teams that I never had. Like, I've always respected them because I loved watching Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and Tom Rathman and Brent Jones and Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott. I mean, I liked watching those guys play, but I rooted for the Cowboys back then some, and so I didn't want them to win that much. Like, I wanted them to play the Cowboys and the Cowboys to beat them.
Let's see.
That's the way it was. But I'll tell you, this new form of the 49ers, I love what their front office is doing because they've invested in every position in the lineup. They have solid players at every position. You can't go down their lineup and say, oh, here's a huge weak spot. They have some ballers. I mean, they're guys, we don't know their names very well, unless you're, just a huge football fan. They're not, maybe not, first round draft picks, all of them, but they've made some great draft picks and developed. Look, Dre Greenlaw.
Trade all their draft picks away to get Trey Lance, and then they traded him for the Cowboys for the water cooler.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, look at like Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Like Arkansas fans, talk about, oh man, we miss him. Did we forget Dre Greenlaw used to make some of the same mistakes that Grant Morgan and some of them made? He would be out of place a lot of times and get burned because he would get sucked up into the line too far. He would miss some tackles. I mean, he was great. I mean, he did a lot of good things, but he also got beat a lot, and he made a lot of mistakes when he was at Arkansas. And all of a sudden they've developed him and he's one of the better linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I mean, and he didn't get that development at Arkansas.
And him and Fred Warner probably are the best linebackers.
Yeah. He's amazing.
In NFL. Yeah, they're amazing.
A lot of that stuff that was his weakness, and part of it was probably he has more freedom to just go and play, in the NFL and use his athleticism and instincts instead of, he was probably overthinking a lot at Arkansas.
When everything happens so fast in the NFL, it's boom, 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 it's over. Yeah. And in college, it's like boom. And that was like, boom. Now the other story is, you had Pat Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Other side. It's like the Chiefs have become the new Patriots.
Yeah.
Almost. I told somebody the other day, I said, I remember back in the 90s when all you Chiefs fans were Cowboys fans. It's like everybody's a Chiefs fan. Everybody's a Chiefs fan now. It's everybody. But like Mahomes, he's got a shot at coming after Tom Brady's legacy.
Well, I was listening to I get up really early, so I listen to ESPN radio at the beginning of my mornings. And on their show, they brought up this the other day. Has anyone ever had a better first 7 years in their career than Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Nobody has. The closest ones you could even make an argument for was Jeter and Magic.
Maybe Pujols.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, but yeah, I mean,
but I mean,
in the NFL, definitely not. It what's crazy is how much that team's turned over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even the same squad anymore that won the first one. I mean, in 7 years, that team is And so, they're going to keep turning that roster over. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, I've said on this podcast a gajillion times, you got the quarterback position figured out, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And that's one thing like Arkansas football last year. You thought, I said, well, quarterback position figured out. Well, we saw how that worked out.
Yeah.
This year, we got to figure it out. And maybe I want to do that one of these days. We got to handicap that quarterback race. That's going to be fun to watch. We ain't had one of those in a while.
No.
But Mahomes has got to have that chip on his shoulder because he wasn't even the first quarterback taken in his draft.
No.
He was, because I asked Alexa before I got in here. The two quarterbacks taken ahead?
Baker and
was not Baker.
Oh, what? Who was it?
Trubisky and Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Trubisky and Watson.
Yeah.
Who Joe Flacco quarterbacked his team to the playoffs.
Watson got a little sweeter deal on the contract.
Yeah, but
that's a waste of money.
But you know what? Mahomes got the Super Bowl rings.
I'd rather have what Mahomes has. Yeah.
No, I mean for sure.
Plus, that State Farm check's probably pretty good.
But you realize he's got at least. Is he 30 yet?
No, I don't think so. No.
He's got at least 10, 12 good years left in him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's had enough problems with his ankles and lower legs that there's going to be some issues as he gets older, I think.
Well, and there very well could be, but he has got. But if he learns and adapts, with as his body changes and what he does well, it could be he's got a shot at it now. It just seemed like Lamar did not have a good game at crunch time at all. So
they're saying, Baltimore's going to go after Derrick Henry or Jacobs from the Raiders. They're going to go hard after them to put with Lamar. Can you imagine Lamar with Derrick Henry in the backfield?
Nice. I just run the option.
Mm-hmm.
Travis, me and you neither one drink, but I think I would like to go tailgate with the Bills Mafia one day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
those guys crazy.
Yeah, I saw Jason Kelsey. He was having the time of his life out there. He's like, I just want to go out there and hang out with the Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But
did you see him the first time he met Taylor Swift? He had his shirt off in Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, man. There's a lot of haters on her for the distraction, but I'm like, man.
But everybody's worried now she's going to be able to get back from Tokyo in time.
Yeah.
I think she's going to make it, though. She's going to make it.
Well, if anybody can find a plane fast enough, it's Taylor Swift.
That's right.
I mean, it's not, because, like if it was, like, let's say it was like I was in a big jiu-jitsu tournament in Las Vegas. And for some reason you decided, I don't know, you're getting married. I'd have to be like, I know it's out there.
Yeah.
Like, this is speaking of far-fetched.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sorry, buddy, I can't make it back because I don't have the money to like book a red-eye flight or something. This is like, money is no object to Taylor Swift. It's like
she tipped her truck drivers for her tour an extra $100,000 each. The truck drivers, got an extra 100 G's. They already make good money driving her stuff around. And no, she tipped them, and everybody else on her tour, she tipped like big time.
Yeah,
she's got money.
She's got money. It's like, like you're worried about like if the NFL players like, oh, this chick's after me for my money. It's like, no, I'm after her money. Taylor Swift makes ridiculous money, but
everybody's just worried about those songs she's going to write about Travis Kelce after they break up. But
Nah,
you never know; those kids may make it.
I want to see them get make it. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing quite like seeing a couple like I can root for them to make it. Um, oh my goodness! But so we got San Francisco versus Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Who you got?
Man, that you know what's going to be a fun like they talked about the Detroit game, that middle of the field game. It's basically going to come down to I think Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner versus Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
That's where the game's going to be won. Um, I'm pulling for San Francisco, but my money's on Kansas City.
I would not be heartbroken if either team won.
Dude, I'm heartbroken because it's not the Detroit Lions.
However, I would go with, if I was putting my money on it, I would go with KC just because of the Mahomes factor.
Yeah.
I think, well, and two, I mean, I've been a Mahomes fan as far as not really a fan, but just like I took a chance on him early in fantasy football, his second year in the league.
Yeah.
When he blew up. And he won me a couple leagues that year because I drafted him literally like second round that year. And everybody was like, who? Because no one knew who he was. He was, but I watched him tear up the Razorbacks. I watched all the pre-draft stuff about him, how strong his arm was. I saw all the stuff about how much Andy Reid loved him and about it. And then they let Alex Smith go. Alex Smith was not a bad quarterback at that time.
No.
They let Alex Smith go so that he could take over. And I thought with Andy Reid backing him, with Tyreek Hill and all that they had back then, and Kelsey and everybody else, I was like, I think this guy's gonna have a big year. And I had a bunch of people in my fantasy football drafts were laughing at me because they're like, first of all, that's if you're taking a quarterback that early, you need to be taking Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. And I took him before some of them. And I bet the house on him and it worked for me. So anyway, so all that being said, I'm gonna root for them. Plus, I got a little buddy at my school. His mom's one of the coaches, the PE teachers, and he's I call him my homie. He's a big Mahomes fan. He's got a Kelsey jersey. He's got a Mahomes jersey. He's got blonde hair and he curls it up like Mahomes a little bit and stuff. And so I gotta root for, I want to see him happy. So
dude, but I love Brock Purdy too.
I do too. Yeah.
I love Brock Purdy because I don't know. Did you ever see the clip of his senior day when Campbell likes hugging him? He's got tears in his eyes. Like, yeah, I mean, it is. You could tell like he knew. It was like he's that guy. Like he knew what he had.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you remember Campbell was like a hot name for a lot of jobs for a while because a lot of that was because of Brock Purdy, who just no one gave credit for anything because he doesn't wow you in anything. But it's like all the dude does is win.
Yeah.
And like,
well,
if you gotta give the San Francisco organization credit too, because not a lot of people talk about this because you had Garoppolo who'd been there forever.
Yeah.
And then you trade the farm to get Trey Lance.
And they stick with Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, like, it would have been easy to say, Brock, it was a fluke, but we drafted this kid for that. I mean, we know you didn't lose a game at all, but they stuck with him, and now, I mean, it's a gamble, as you said, and it pays dividends.
Well, Clint, before we wrap it up, man, what you watching?
Reacher, man. I've been watching Reacher.
Reacher.
Yeah.
Never watched that.
It's it's some books which I don't read, but
Yeah.
basically it's a former military police officer who he basically just wonders.
Yeah.
It's played by Thad Castle. Um, but oh no, it's great. It's on Prime.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. I cannot say enough good things about it. I was because you worry like when you play a role like Thad Castle
Mhm.
that no matter what, you're Thad Castle.
Yeah.
Like Stifler, he's Stifler. Like there's
Yeah.
no Sean William Scott, there's Stifler.
Yeah.
So I think Reacher's really gets getting Alan Richardson out of that, and it's been like that. It's a great show. Like I
Yeah.
love still watching my Gordon Ramsay stuff. I just
And Next Level Chef
yeah,
started back.
I haven't watched Next Level Chef yet. I've just watched Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. I finished that recently.
I wrapped up the last season. I'm definitely going back to Hell's Kitchen when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you I messed up, Travis.
What was
I,
that?
well, I'm intermittent fasting, so I don't eat at night now.
Yeah.
But my Instagram feed, because I keep clicking on Vegas eateries, and
Mhm.
just all these like insane food challenges in Las Vegas. So
Yeah.
I'm hungry and I ate my life. And like, ooh, look at this big sombrero full of tacos. I'm like, you get 50 tacos, like $100, and
Yeah.
you get a sombrero.
Nice.
Try that.
Well, I've been watching Suits on
Okay.
Netflix. It's a law drama, and
Yeah.
it's about this guy who uh never did go to college, but is a brilliant mind and ends up becoming a lawyer. And he's anyway, it's excellent. It's excellent. Really good writing.
Yeah, you're not the
A
first person
couple,
to say that. I've never watched it, but I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
yeah. There's it reminds me a little bit of this is gonna sound weird, but I was a big ER fan. Okay.
Okay.
And ER broke a lot of ground because ER used medical terms and didn't explain them for the common person. They just used them. And a lot of people said ER wasn't going to work because of that reason, because people wouldn't understand what they were talking about. Well, this kind of does that with law. I mean,
Right.
it's just lawyer talk, a lot of it. And there's some things you're like, okay, I think I understand that, but I don't know if I do or not, but you're still tied up into it and the drama of it and everything. The only thing I have against it is I'm a few seasons into it, and they kind of go to the same well a lot, but that happens on a lot of shows. They go to the
Yeah.
same well for some of their drama sometimes. But otherwise, man, it's a really good. The actors are great in it. They do a good job, and it's got some really good
Got a princess in it.
characters.
Too.
It does. It does have a princess in it. That's right. And so
Nice.
anyway, she does a good job, and it's a good show. But and then I'm like I said, the I'm up with the Gordon Ramsay stuff too. That stuff, you know.
You still watching MTV's The Challenge?
I am. Yeah.
I am. Hey, too, like I wanted to talk about it on the show before. You're like, no one cares about our teenage girl show.
Yeah. Yeah. That one's. I don't know if
It's
anybody.
only it like have you flipped it over to like just at a random time to MTV and just seen it's either ridiculousness or catfished?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's all they show.
I
Is
think
like,
I think of Reed Bauer
yeah,
every time I
every
see
time
ridiculousness.
I tell that story to everybody. I go, "What do you do if it's not on?" He goes, "It's never not been on.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
It's never. It's
That's right.
always on."
It's always on. Well, folks, thanks for listening and watching and paying attention, all that stuff. Listen, share, comment, share, comment, share, comment. Go get you a roof from Hometown Roofing.
Absolutely. Go see my good
Our,
friend Robert
our
Branscombe.
buddy Robert would appreciate you. But share, comment this video. Let people know what you're listening to, what you're watching. It's us.
It's us.
And hopefully you enjoy it. So let them know about it. And man, let's keep our head up. The Hogs, you know, hey, baseball's coming, baby. Baseball's coming.
Save us, DVH. Your only hope.
That's right. Save us, baby. Save us.
Bye,
Clint,
guys.
peace out, homie.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come.